What is up, guys? Wisdom for the Wayward Soul here, and I hope that you are doing well. I know this is a little bit of a surprise cast here. I missed the last 2 weeks. I had some things going on, so I had to take a break from the podcast, but it is a wonderful Monday, October afternoon here on October the 28th, so I wanted to give you a late but early episode. You get 2 episodes this week, so we're going to do The Ship. So let's talk about it. The ship is the third card in the Lenormand, and it has a neutral polarity. So when we're looking at this, we already know that it's typically the energy that is affected and not the energy that's doing the affecting. We can remember that from the second episode of our podcast where we talked about polarities and their influences within the Lenormand. So let's get into it. There's so much to consider when looking at this card. So let's get into the breakdown. So we can see in this card, there's sort of this clear day here, right? It's great weather, and that kind of can indicate that there's a clear path ahead. There's little to no hesitation, disorientation, or confusion, and we can see that as evidenced by the lack of, major cloud coverage, right? The ship is a larger vessel, so it's indicating that we have the capability and capacity not only to move, but to do so swiftly. Now, I do want to point out something about this card that I think is very important, and I think it's something that you might be able to pick up on, especially if you are a reader that focuses a lot on realism and symbology in the cards that you read. So when we see ships moving in real life, we tend to see disturbances in the water in front of the ship, right? So in this card, there's no noticeable disturbance in the water, and that indicates that the ship is standing still. So I think this is important because it indicates that just because we are still does not mean that the energy is stagnant. It's okay to take breaks. It's okay to regroup and to plan for the next adventure. Ships may stop to fish, to make general repairs. There's a lot of reasons why a ship or why we may stop, but that doesn't mean our journey is at an end. So consider the properties of a ship as well as the traditional Lenormand readings when you are reading this card. Now let's get into some traditional cartomancy. So in traditional cartomancy, this card is the equivalent of the 10 of spades, which, to be honest, I don't really see for this card. The 10 of spades is generally seen as a card of challenges, difficulties, endings, which I don't really see for the ship. The 10 of spades is generally seen as a card of challenges, difficulties, or endings. It often represents obstacles, sorrow, and misfortune. And honestly, that doesn't line up with the message of the Lenormand in the ship at all, but I did want to include it just for the sake of including it. It is a part of the Lenormand. Even if I don't agree with its equivalent, it's okay. What I do want to get into is the astrological associations. So the ship is ruled by the planet Jupiter, which is known for its themes of expansion, exploration, travel, and adventure, which lines up well with the ship's symbolism of journeys, broadening horizons, and travel. Naturally, this leads us to associate the ship with the zodiac Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter and shares those similar qualities. So while researching its tarot equivalents, I found that it's linked to the Chariot due to its similar themes of sometimes swift movement, travel, progress, and moving through life's challenges. It's also sometimes associated with the Six of Swords due to the Six of Swords energy of moving away from difficulties in search for a better future. And while I can understand both, and I certainly think it connects to both in very profound ways, I think the Chariot is more representative of the pure energy of the ship, where the Six of Swords would seem like an energy that would be more acquired through the combination of the energy of the ship and possibly the coffin, because the coffin's talking about those energies. So I think to link it to the Six of Swords, I would want it to be alchemized with another card in the deck rather than just sitting and being by itself. But I hope you enjoyed that brief dive into the ship, and I am looking forward to making more of these and getting back on schedule on Friday. If you have not already, check out my website for readings that you can book. Check out my TikTok for my social media posts. And remember, I do offer coaching. So if you want to get one-on-one with me and learn the Lenormand and get a little bit more in depth with these cards, I do offer 2 different coaching packages that may fit your needs. I hope that you have a great morning, evening, or night wherever you are, and I will see you this Friday for Learning Lenormand.